Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tyler. Together we make up Coffee, a couple that loves to play board games.
And today we'll be teaching you how to play Harvest Valley.
Harvest Valley is designed by Bruno Faiduti. It's published by Grail Games, who helped sponsor this video.
Let's go to the table and let's learn how to play. As always, you'll begin by setting up. In a 2 or 3 player game, each player will receive 2 farmhouse cards and 2 farmhouse tokens. In a 4 or 5 player game, each player will receive 1 of each instead. You'll return any unused farmhouse cards or tokens back to the box. You'll then set aside the 5 special land cards with a star. These will only be used in the advanced variant, which we'll mention at the end of this video. You'll shuffle the remainder of the land cards and reveal 3 face up near the deck. This is called the river. You're now ready to play. The game will start with the youngest player. In Harvest Valley, you'll compete to score the most points by taking turns placing cards into the valley, aiming to have the highest scoring positions for your own farmhouses, while maybe playing a little bit of sabotage with your opponents, as there can only be one winner. Let's jump in. Collectively, you'll be building a grid of cards, a 5x5 in a 2 or 4 player game, and a 5x6 in a 3 or 5 player game. On your turn, you'll either play your farmhouse card, placing your token on top, or you can select one of the 3 face-up land cards from the river and place it into the valley. You'll then draw a new card to replace the one you chose in the river. As a tip, you may want to hold onto your farmhouse for a few turns, as once placed, they cannot be moved. Now let's talk about the placement rules. The first card may be placed anywhere on the table, but after that, each card must be placed in an empty space orthogonally adjacent to at least one card in the valley. You may also not exceed the 5x5 or 5x6 grid, but you can create which way it's formed until the dimensions have been set. There are 2 exceptions to the placement rules. A weed must be placed on a space that is already occupied. It may be placed on any card but the farmhouse. The card it covers will then be returned back to the river. The tractor is placed on a space in the valley already occupied by a land card. You cannot place a tractor on a farmhouse or a meteorite. A tractor then pushes the card it was placed on into an empty adjacent space. You'll need to have an empty adjacent space to play the tractor. Placement aside, what do the rest of these cards do and how do you get points? Well, when the game ends, everything adjacent to your farmhouse may score you points. Before that, some cards take effect. Crows will cancel out all orthogonally and diagonally adjacent fruit trees. Cancel cards are removed from the valley. Wild boars will cancel out all orthogonally adjacent vegetable cards. You'll also remove these from the valley. Each player will then score for veggies and fruit. You'll score 1 point for every vegetable orthogonally adjacent to your farmhouse, and 1 point for every fruit tree orthogonally or diagonally adjacent to your farmhouse. Additionally, if any of your fruit or vegetable cards are orthogonally adjacent to a pond, each of the vegetable or fruit tree scoring value will increase by 1 point. Finally, wheat. Each farmhouse also scores for any wheat fields orthogonally adjacent to them. A wheat field is made up of 1 or more orthogonally adjacent wheat cards, and they'll score the square value of the number of cards. So for example, 4 adjacent wheat cards will score 16 points to any farmhouse adjacent to any portion of the wheat field. A meteor does nothing. It is essentially a dead space that cannot be moved by a tractor. Now, you'll tally all your points. In a 2 or 3 player game, you'll simply add up the 2 farmhouses and the player with the highest score wins. In a 4 or 5 player game, you'll add up the score of your farmhouse to the score of the farmhouse belonging to the player sitting to your left to determine your final score. Every farmer wants to marry their child, the son or daughter of the neighboring farmer after all. Now after a few plays, you can introduce the special cards. Let's quickly go through them. A sprinkler can be added to the deck or it can replace the pond. It essentially functions as a pond, but it gives the bonus points to all diagonally adjacent cards. A well will score 1 point for every orthogonally or diagonally adjacent animal: boar, crow, locust, and rabbit. It'll still need to be next to the farmhouse to score though. A locust will cancel out all orthogonally adjacent wheat cards, while a rabbit will score -2 points if adjacent to a farmhouse. Finally, a plow functions similarly to the tractor, except it moves an entire row or column instead of just 1 card.
And there you have it, Harvest Valley.
Don't you just hate when the boar eats all your vegetables?
No, because I like to play it and mess everybody else up.
How dare you? If you have any questions about this game, leave them in the comments down below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you want to learn more about this game or the Pixel series, there's a link down there. Click it, take a gander, and do some learning.
Exactly. And of course, if you found this video helpful, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you're new here, because we love talking and teaching board games to folks just like you.
And for bonus points, hit that little bell icon. It helps us tremendously, and you know when our games get released, or videos get released about games.
Yeah.
Now for our question of the day, if you could harvest a vegetable or fruit, what would it be? And who would you share it with?
Who's the first person you're going to show the wonders of the fruit?
Well, you could both bite it at the same time on the opposite sides.
Maybe not.
We'll catch you at the next one.
Bye!